Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. We are back with another What's Sold on eBay video here with some more sales from the eBay store, a few days worth. Hopefully there'll be something cool in here. I don't even remember what's in here because I did the screenshots a few days ago, so I'm not as prepared as I should be, and I apologize. But let's go ahead and get into it and go over what sold. A pair of Asics Gel Light sneakers, 9.5 women's, light bluish color. They sold for 24 shipped. These were a couple bucks at a garage sale. Did cost, I think, $8 to ship them. So we did okay. We made some money there. Shoes are always fun for me to sell. I seem to do pretty well on them. An Apple A1243 wired keyboard here. This one sold for 44 shipped. It came out of a big buy I had from the Salvation Army online auction. I bought, I think, 8 keyboards for 100 and something shipped. I ended up having 6 of the 8 that worked. The other 2 did not. And these keyboards have sold anywhere from 30 to about 45 shipped. It's pretty good profit if they all would have worked. We'll still make money this way with the 6 that do, but I was really hoping to get quite a bit more because I was hoping to have 8 keyboards, but they were sold as is. An LG air conditioner remote. You guys know I bought a bunch of remotes on my vacation about a month ago. Those ones should start popping up in the videos here shortly. This is a different remote though. I'm a big proponent of selling remotes, guys. There's a lot of money that you can make off them if you can find the right ones and get them at the right price. But this one sold for 17 shipped. It's one of those little personal AC units. I don't know if it's a wall unit or one that stands, but it ended up selling for 17 shipped. Canon SureShot Z90W camera here. These old cameras, I have no idea why people are still buying them. I guess it just must be people prefer this type of work, or maybe there's, I don't know, courses that you can take and you just get to use this camera. I have no idea why, but a lot of people still buy these. This is a SureShot Z90W 35mm. It sold for 36 shipped. I think I paid a couple bucks at a garage sale. So not all of the old 35mm are. Some of them are, but just take a chance. Look some of them up. There might be some value there. Keith Moore CD lot. This is like an audiobook lot. I paid a couple bucks for these each at a garage sale. They ended up selling for 50 shipped on a full price sale, but they did take a while to sell. I've done well on audiobooks before. Usually if you can get a lot of the same ones by the same author or whatever, that's the way to make some money. Or if they're brand new sealed, sometimes they have some value. Word and sentence drills for Greg. This is one of those shorthand Greg books. I told you guys about these before. G-R-E-G-G, Greg. This one is from the $950 buy. This was the best of those books, though. It sold for 30 shipped. This was from 1930 originally. So some of the older ones don't go for as much, maybe 10 to 15, but definitely keep an eye out for that if you ever see them out in the wild. Slipheed the Lost Planet. This was a game I had never heard of before, so some of you may have. It had a pretty cool cover, honestly, but I paid $1 for it at a garage sale. Usually, I'm not like an expert on video games. There's a lot of resellers who know way more than I do. I'm sure you guys have heard of some of the channels like Chase After the Right Price and stuff like that. There's guys out there who know quite a bit. Shad Juice knows a bunch of stuff about video games. I know enough to do some damage when I'm out there, but there's a lot of games that I still haven't heard of. This is one of those. Usually if it's a game I haven't heard of and it's got some kind of cool graphic or made by, some kind of publisher that I don't really know of or one that I do know makes a lot of cool games, I'll usually take a chance on it for $1 without even looking it up. This one sold for 27 shipped. Paul McCartney, Many Years From Now. This is a hardcover first edition, sold for 25 shipped from the Rock and Roll buy. Yahtzee replacement dice. I'm not a big proponent of parting out board games. I do, there's certain ones that I will do it on. This is the Yahtzee Deluxe. Usually the dice sell for about 10. They have like a goldish color to them, so I think people also just buy them because it says, it's like a golden dice. Maybe that's why they want it for something else. I've sold quite a bit of them, but this one sold on sale for 8 shipped. Bebop, this is an action figure from 1998. This is from that big $400 action figure buy that was not really a good buy, so we all make those kind of mistakes. But this one I ended up selling for 17 shipped. We'll make our money back in a little bit of money, but not enough to worth all the time. But we are learning about action figures, so that's a positive thing. Frogger for the Game Boy Color, 1998. This one comes with a little Game Boy like carrying, whatever it is, case or whatever, not a carrying case, but like a little cover protector thing. Sometimes I'll add that in with the listing just to see if it bumps it up and helps something get sold. This one sold for $7.50, but it did sell at 25% off, which means it was listed for quite a while. A Kyocera Duramax rugged sprint phone. I had 4 or 5 of these from the big phone buy for $60. This one sold for 30 shipped. I ended up selling all of them for 30, but one sold for 25 on a best offer, but 30 shipped on the rest. They do go first class. Haven't heard back from anybody either. Kanan Lynch, this is a $2 PS3 game I bought. She had like 7 or 8 games. I paid $2 each. Most of them were worth it. This is one of the 2 or 3 that were not. They ended up selling for $8.09 on sale. We ended up, we made a little bit of money, maybe like $1 or something, but I'm happy to get it out of here. Again, I don't know all the video games, so sometimes we take chances, and some of them don't pay off as well. Limited Stone Brewing. This is a devastatingly dank Enjoy Your IPA Beer Shirt. So this one kind of made me laugh, but this is from that big Stone Brewing shirt buy. We've sold a bunch of those over the past few months. This t-shirt sold for a best offer of $20, which I thought was a good deal. American Horror Story, seasons 1 through 3. You guys know I love selling DVDs, especially TV sets. These ones sold for $19 shipped. I think I had a couple bucks in this whole set and I got $19 shipped. It goes media mail, so not much out there. Little Rochambeau. I think we've all heard of Rochambeau before, at least maybe not the CD, but you know, in other ways in our life. This one sold for $10.79. Pretty good deal for a used CD from the Rock and Roll Buy. I did sell on sale. Here's a 1989 Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition. Kathy Ireland cover here. This one sold for $12 shipped, also from the Rock and Roll Buy, so maybe he was a big fan of Kathy Ireland, but anyways, got 12 shipped out of that. I don't sell a lot of magazines individually because they are a little heavy, so that can kind of hurt you. Trivial Pursuit. This is a game I did part out, even though I just said I don't part a lot out, but this one also sold. Magic of Disney Family Edition. I got the game, but it wasn't complete. The game would have sold if it was complete as well. I think for like 30 or 35 shipped. I ended up selling just the cards that were there for 22 shipped. So I think they went in maybe a padded flat rate. I don't remember exactly. Either that or they sold for around $10, but or shipped for about $10. Sorry, but I ended up getting rid of those. Here's one of those California missions. Don't know if you guys will find these out there where you are, but I found a bunch here one day, and they've all sold for about 45 shipped. This is the San Luis Obispo one. I have about 10 copies of this book, so if you want a copy of San Diego through the lens of Aaron Chang, it is autographed. There's like a little signature in there. I am your guy because I have a bunch of these. Now, I got them all from Storage Unit Guy one day. I thought it was a bunch of different ones at first because there was a couple other books mixed in there, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's different titles and everything. Perfect. So I grabbed them. Turned out those were different books. I had like 10 or 12 copies of this book, and I sold finally one for 25 shipped. And maybe one day we'll sell another. Who knows? At least we got 25 though. Someone out there, we may have found the one person who wanted it, but that was cool. But if you need one, let me know. I'll give you a deal. Amplified Bible by Zondervan. This is one of those Bibles. A lot of people sell Bibles, but Amplified Bibles, the old leather ones, are some of the best ones you can sell. There are obviously some other like goatskin ones or whatever that are super unique, but look out for the Amplified Bible. Even some newer Amplified Bibles can sell, but if you find an older one from the 70s or 80s, it's probably going to have some value. So Amplified Bible, 75 shipped on this guy. Sure Shot Pintail Whistle Duck Hunting Call. This is just pretty cool to have to call ducks, I guess. I did test it out to see if it worked. It seemed to work okay, I think. But it sold for $32.50. So I'm not really much of a hunter. Do a lot more fishing than I do hunting, and I don't even fish as much anymore, but this one sold for $32.50. I got a bunch of duck calls. I know certain ones that are really old can be super valuable. Most of the ones I got were like $30 or under, so not really the greatest, the greatest set, but definitely something to keep an eye out for if you see them. And now's the gem, guys. This is what you all really want to come here to see. This is the Amazing Spider-Man number 121 comic. It is where someone dies. I don't know the lady's name, but if you look it up, you can find it. I bought a bunch of comics, $50. I know nothing about comics, really, to be honest, guys. I know most aren't that valuable. Most people end up lotting them together and selling them. But I always know it's worth looking out and looking them up because certain ones may have an introduction of a new character, or in this case, a character that I guess is being eliminated from the comic, and that makes them a little more valuable. This one was in that lot. I looked it up. I was just surprised by how much it was worth. I listed mine for I think $300 or $280. I think $280. And I figured I was going to get around $200, but I wanted to list high so I could kind of feel out the offers, look who was making them, if they were a zero buyer, or just not that zero buyer, anything wrong with that, but just kind of do a little bit of vetting if you kind of get my drift here to make sure the person I was going to I felt good about. Got a best offer of $200. They had quite a few hundred feedback. I guess they buy comics from what it said. Ended up taking the offer for $200, shipped it out to them priority mail, and never heard back. I did not get good feedback, but I did not get bad feedback either. And with comics, I always list them. I'm more critical on them, just like with records, with trading cards, stuff like that. I'm more critical on the item than I would be on maybe a video game or something like that, or a printer ink cartridge or something. because some of the collectors of those particular categories can be very specific. So I try to be a little harder on my item. That way when they get it, they're expecting less, and I have the chance to overachieve and get them something a little bit better. So this one, $200. There were a couple other comics in there that had a little bit of value, 15, 20, and then I lotted some together. So it'll probably be about a $350 set of comics that we paid $50 for. So good deal there. Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood. This is a DVD here. This is from the big $950 book buy. There are also some rock and roll DVDs we grabbed. This one sold for $16 shipped. Build-A-Bear Sprinkles, a horrible picture. Half of it's kind of dark and the other half is light, but not that light. For whatever reason, I'm not even sure if my lights were on properly when I took this, but I ended up selling it for $15.29. It was lit at $18. It sold on sale. Goodwill sometimes does like not a fill bag, but it's like a bag full of plush for like $5. I bought one of those, and this was in there with some other good stuff, and I just decided to list it. Here's an American Standard, it's called ASV, a Thomas Nelson Bible from 1929. This one sold for $32 shipped. It sold almost instantly when I listed it. It had some wear. I put in the listing that there was wear to the spine, scuffs and marks, and there's writing on the inside cover. The person ended up getting the book and returning it because one of the pages had a tear in it and a couple pages had little underlines. And they felt like I listed in acceptable condition. I didn't know there was a tear, but I didn't look at every page. So I was kind of surprised. I'm like, I guess I should have looked at every page, but who's going to spend that kind of time? Got the return, came back, same book. Obviously, they didn't do anything shady. I upped it to like 37 shipped, and then it sold already. So you'll see another video. So I actually made some of the money we lost on the shipping. I did that because it sold so fast. But this one originally sold for 32 shipped. And again, I'm not going to look at every page in a book to see. I'll flip through them and try to get an idea, but there's a lot of pages in the Bible. I'm not going to take the time to go through every one. Here's Marilyn Manson, The Long Hard Road Out. An interesting cover there. This one sold for 20 shipped from the My Pet Monster buy. This was awesome. A Homedics handheld body massager. This is one of those cool ones. It was brand new in the box. I paid $10 for it from one of my sources when he bought a unit full of brand new items. I sell these massagers used usually for $35 to $50 depending on which one it is. This one brand new with all the heads and everything on there sold for $125 shipped. Awesome deal. Super happy. Took about a month or two to sell, but I had mine high because no one really was coming in with the same kind of item that I had, brand new with everything. It's $125 shipped on that. Here's an item that used to be super sellable, these Panasonic electronic pencil sharpeners. There's this one. There's kind of more of a squarish one or whatever that's not as long. They used to always sell for $25, $30, $35. They've really come down. This one sold for $18 shipped. I usually ship them padded flat rate for $7.52 or whatever, so not really worth your time. If you find one, I guess maybe you could maybe get $20 out of it, 22 or something like that, but you're not going to get a ton, so don't pay a lot. Here's that Bullard hard-boiled red, they call it a bump cap, I guess. This one had stains and marks everywhere, some scratches, but it just looked kind of cool, and I knew the brand was pretty good. I looked it up. I listed mine for $100, had like 8 watchers for 2 weeks, and then someone bought it full price, $100 shipped. This is another cool item. This is a Mead Trapper Keeper. It's got dogs on there. I think they're collies if I'm not mistaken, but if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. The Trapper Keeper did work, but it was kind of warped a little bit, like the lid didn't close perfectly flat. You might see in the picture it's kind of off center. But I got this for $2 at a garage sale, and it sold for $55 shipped on a best offer. Look out for these Trapper Keepers, especially like an old Lisa Frank one, or maybe an old Pokemon, or a Sonic, or a Mario, or some. I'm not talking like from a few years ago. I'm talking about like 80s, 90s type stuff. Some of them do really, really well. Alien 3 for the Sega Game Gear. This one sold for $27 shipped. This is from the buy where I bought a bunch of video games from that lady who was selling them. This one sold for $27. So did this Scooby-Doo from that same buy, sold for $30 shipped for the GameCube. And we sold a Mazda 929 factory repair shop manual. This one sold for $12 shipped. Super happy to move out more of those manuals from the big manual buy. They've been so good, but I definitely want to get through them and make some more space in there. Wii Transformers game. This is one of those games that probably wasn't worth listing. It sold for $7.64 on sale, but definitely happy to get it out of here. Will and Grace Season 6. I bought 3 seasons of Will and Grace. They had like 5 of them. They did not have the complete series. They were $2.99 each, I think. Maybe $3.99. I bought seasons 6, 7, and 8. Those are the last 3 seasons, and this one sold for $20 shipped used. Again, I've told you guys before, the last season seemed to do better. Netgear Air Card. It's missing the battery. This one sold for $16 shipped. This is also from that big buy of phones that I had. This was just sitting in there, but no battery. A Marine Corps green 38R like uniform jacket. This one sold for 30, shipped on a best offer. I usually get these when I buy the big camo buys. There'll be a couple of these in there. They don't sell as well as the camos do, but I'll usually list them if I get them, and hopefully someone will come through and make an offer. Here's another video game from the buy with that lady. This one sold for 28, shipped at SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. 28 shipped for the Xbox. Another awesome sale here. These are the Mirage Nano Prestige speakers. Definitely super cool. They have like a nice black glossy front. You guys may not be able to see it so well, but they look really nice, real classy. I paid 20 bucks for these, plus it came with one other speaker from one of my sources. He got a bunch of stuff for free. He was gonna dump a lot of it, but there were some speakers in there and some other electronics, and I came through and swooped them up. These ones, I didn't know how valuable were they. I just knew they looked cool. Looked them up when I got home, and I sold them for 250 shipped. I did have to test them. I plugged them into a radio that I have with the speaker wire just to test them out. They all worked beautifully, and I got 250 on that. And then lastly, guys, the final sale for this video, 120 plus Littlest Pet Shop figures. They sold for 180 shipped. These are from that big pet shop. I've been selling a lot of the individuals for a while. You guys have probably seen them in the past few months of YouTube videos, but I finally sold the whole lot on a 10% off sale for 180 bucks. They shipped, I think, in a priority box. I want to say they went either pirate ship or maybe it was FedEx. I don't remember. They were pretty heavy though. They did not fit in a tied flat rate. The lady got them. She said she was disappointed because some had wear. I said pieces have scuffs, marks, and dust from storage. Mixed lot of pieces. Some may have broken items or whatever on there. Sold as is. That's in all in my description. So they obviously have wear is basically what I was saying, and I put pictures. The lady said she wasn't happy because some of them had more wear. A couple had a couple of broken pieces, and I told her, well, I'm so sorry. I did kind of show some photos in the description. You're welcome to return them. Just return them all to me, and I'll go ahead and issue a free refund. I totally understand. No worries. That's how my store is set up. It won't cost you anything. The lady came back and said, basically, well, I gave them to my granddaughter. I got rid of the few. There was only a couple that were broken. I got rid of those, and she's happy with the rest. Nothing to worry about. Thanks so much. So when I first got that message, I was super concerned, like, oh, great, this is going to be a big return. And not only is it going to be a big return, they might keep some of the pieces. Your mind kind of goes to that negative place. But no, she ended up working out. So really super sweet lady that she was able to work around that. Obviously, I need to do a better job to make sure there are no broken ones. I don't remember seeing any, but maybe there was something that I missed. It is a whole bunch of stuff, so I probably should do a little better job on that. But still a good way to move a bunch of Littlest Pet Shop that aren't worth a lot. Just put them in a lot and sell them that way. And that's it, guys. The next video hopefully will be a storage or a garage sale video. I've been working on the editing, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in the next